It's okay. Come, the stars await, and we mustn't keep them.
Ship's got a current! Be out in the ship!
Almost there, Captain. What a vast expanse. It's easy to forget sometimes. You can say that again. But we made it. To Zega Grande Skydome.
Now we're a step closer to finishing our journey. It's nice we're getting closer to our goal and everything. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful if our adventures never ended? To me, seeing the world with everyone is so much fun. I sort of wish that it could go on forever and ever. You read why. It looks like the ship's flying steady again. Let's go check on the others. Catalina?
What is it, Lyria?
What do you think is out there? At the end of the sky realm, I mean. A wall, maybe?
If there is, it'd be pretty tall. Though now that you bring it up, I guess I've never thought about it before.
Hey, can I ask you something? What do you think is at the end of the world?
No idea, but I'm dying to find out.
Same here. We'll lose no cloud unturned. On the other hand, we know there's at least two things waiting for us out there. First is Estelucia, Island of the Astrals, and second is Relink.
I can't imagine what adventures we're in for next.
But that's what makes them so exciting. It's all about the mystery. You and Lyria are totally insane.
You're certainly in high spirits, Lyria.
I'm just excited to start a brand new adventure.
Me too. Who knows what we'll find in this Skydom.
Man, feel that wind flowing through your hair.
It does have a certain nostalgic quality to it.
Wait, does that mean you've been to the Skydom before, Rosetta?
Oh, sweetie. I can't start giving away my secrets now.
Aw, you never give me a straight answer.
Because you've got no filter. You'll understand when you're older.
Zip it! I've told you a bunch of times, stop treating me like a baby.
She's right, right. You is mature, sophisticated.
2 against 1 ain't fair.
Play nice, Rackham.
Aw, come on. 3 against 1? I was just teasing. Sorry for having a little fun.
Ugh, if anybody's the immature one, it's Rackham.
Oh, ew. Just forget about it. Think about these new skies we get to explore.
What's with the tune? You put on your happy pants today or what?
It's this new Skydom. Reminds me of my younger days. Got me falling in love with the skies all over again. But you can rest easy. I'm keeping an eye on the horizon. Anything comes close to the ship, and you'll be the first to know.
We're glad to have your eagle eye, Logan.
Yeah, that's why I always eat my carrots. Why don't you go check on the rest of the crew? I got things covered up here. We're on the verge of entering a new Skydom. Don't ease up now, Captain.
Seems like everyone's in high spirits. Should be seeing signs of civilization soon. I hope the island has a hotel.
Huh? Heads up! We got monsters!
Lyria's in trouble! Get to her quick!
How'd I miss a whole flock of wyverns? Were they hiding in the clouds?
Rosetta! You two handle the lizards on the port side!
On it! Scaly jerks! Out of our way!
Just like that! Vicious!
Nice move, bud. Child of Flames. My name is Bahamut!
Hell yeah! Sure showed those losers.
You can't mess with the best. We did it! Huh? What are you?
It wouldn't.
Lose control of him.
What's happening?
Bahamut! What's wrong?
Brace yourselves!
Syria, what gives? Why is Bahamut gone all bonkers? I don't know. I thought I heard a ghost and this happened. Just hold on. I'll try to get him under control again. Hear me, Bahamut. We've got to.
How are we gonna stay airborne with him smacking us around?
Can we do something?
He's in a full-blown rampage. I'm afraid we'll have no luck reasoning with him now.
Then knock the damn thing out if you have to. He's ripping on my ship!
Ready for action!
I think it's working.
Weary, we'll hold it back. You focus on calming it.
Just like that!
I'll finish this!
On my mark! Fight as one! Missiles so loud!
Come on, ship. Don't fail me now. Time bombs are ticking, people!
It's messed up! Come on, Rat! Can't you get us out of here?
You kidding? We aren't out flying those wings!
Then we intercept it! That's our only option!
You're my blood! Something's blocking me! I can't get through!
Hang on! We're in for some trouble!
Damn it! How are we supposed to dodge that? You kids all right?
Oh boy, engine room's been hit. We're about to fall into the buoyancy threshold.
Oigan! Right, I'll hit the repairs. Do what you can to slow our descent.
There must be a way out of this. Don't give up!
He's too slow! You guys think we'll make it through this? Hey, we're not licked yet! Bahamut just needs a couple more hard smacks!
Drive your
So much into it, the wheel. Hurry it up, Lincoln.
April's right. This is all my fault.
Oh no! We can't take much more!
Seriously? Does Bahamut think we're a buffet or what? One more and the show's over. Boy, how much longer? Back in business. I'll grab us some air and try to shake him off.
Reach for the sun, Transcender. We're leaving Bahamut in the dust.
Has its rage been calmed? No. Wait.
Oh no!
Oh shit.
This hits us dead on.
Nearly dodged it. But no guarantees we'll look out twice.
It's coming around in front of us!
Well, this distance, evasion's gonna be iffy. Everyone, hang on to your butts!
Wow! You're gonna kill us first, Sacco!
Yeah, you see that?
It appears we're still alive. That's a start. Bahamut's near the bow. Now's our chance to attack.
We fight as one!
Don't give it time to recover. Keep up the pressure.
Did that work? It's all okay now.
Gee, really had me worried.
Lyria!
Oh shit.
Lyria! Captain! Bird!
Whoa, back up.
I can't! You're too heavy!
Lyria's voice echoed through the darkness. It was familiar. Painfully familiar. Just like the day we met, before this whole long journey began. Though I could barely use my sword, I tried to protect Lyria from the Empire. I almost died. But then...
You protected me. Now it's my turn to save you. Take my power. Let it guide you. Let it become your strength. I know you can do this.
Our lives are linked. While I may not fully understand how, Lyria gave half her life to save me. Her gift gave me the push I needed to pursue my own quest, finding Estalucia, Island of the Astrals. It was a fabled place at the end of the sky, where dreams are said to come true. Lyria and I, not to mention our ever-growing crew, are still continuing our search. But someday we'll find it. Then finally, the life link between us will... Huh? Where am I? Oh, right. Lyria fell from the ship. Then Vern and I leapt after her.
Come on, open your eyes! I said wake up! You okay, buddy? Jeez. Scared me half to death, you know? Having that dream about Lyria again? Maybe you bumped your head on the way down. Speaking of Lyria, I didn't see where she fell. She should be close. Let's search the area. Dang, this forest is huge. Don't get us lost, okay, pal? I bet everybody's worried sick. Wonder when we'll see him again. It looks like the path continues behind that island. Can you hear it?
Looking good.
Now we can move on. Lyria! Hurry! This way! There she is! You can take him right. Show those blocks. You can do it. I know it.
Just like that! This should do it!
I believe in you. Don't give up.
How's this?
Did we get all of them? Watch out! Looks like we've got friends!
Reagan leg!
Yeah, buddy! Got the whole herd! I knew you'd find me. Still, I was afraid I might never see you again. And... hope. Thank you for saving me. We're just happy you're safe. Now, let's lose these trees and meet up with the crew. Now that I think about it, the first time we did that was in a forest like this. I was thinking about that too. Back in Zinken's, right? Yeah, we've sure come a long way, huh? I wonder how everybody back home's doing. Ugh, more monsters. You ready?
Looking regular!
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Looking good! Just like that! Don't move! This should do it! Don't hold back! Looking catch.
You're amazing! And there's more where that came from. Now, forward march! I can see a path on the other side.
Looking good. Just like that. This should do it.
Wasn't expecting that. Hey, at least we found a way through. I hate to keep everyone waiting. You know how protective they get. Then we better file that quick and show them what troopers we are. Is it just me? Yeah, that was Cat. Catalina, we're over here. Huh? Oh, I just heard Rackham. Rackham, we're over here. Burn, behind you. That's a rock monster almost gave me a heart attack!
Oh, this'll help a lot.
Real beast of a Wolverine!
Looking good. Just like that. This should do it. Don't move. Reagan leg.
Somebody call for the cavalry?
There's no point. Let's just kill a monster already. We're safe! I can kiss you guys!
Glad to see you too, Boo.
Get in position, people. We can take it out of the our
Looking
attack.
good. Nice. Let's do this. Oh, you're in for it. On my mark. On me. Got him. Watch this. You're the best, Rackham.
Don't get mushy on me.
Watch out.
Don't do anything.
Demon stone! I've got a bad feeling about this.
Don't hold back. Looking good. Ready for action. Just like that. Cut them down. Let's go. On my mark.
Way to go, Captain!
You too, Leo.
Turn that claw into grapple!
An opening. On me. Tempest Flame. Ha! Catalina, I'll protect you.
Go full into the icy beyond!
Back up.
Loud and clear.
Piercing punishment!
Eo.
I know!
Looking good. Bring it. Get worse. Just.
From over here!
Think it's running out of juice. Little more stays out.
You guys rock!
Captain.
Whew. Glad we made it in time.
Do forgive me for being late, Captain.
Hope you saved some fun for me. Ooh. Looks like everyone's no worse for wear.
Oh, thanks for the save, Morgan.
Lyria, about what happened with Bahamut. Do you have it under control now?
Yes, I think I do. Why did he flip out on us? I don't really know. Well, hanging out here isn't gonna help. How about we head back to the Grand Cipher? I'm with Eo. Better get moving before more monsters get the munch.
In that case, maybe we should follow this trail instead. I have a feeling it leads to a nearby town. Doesn't that sound like the perfect place to learn more about Sega Grande?
Let's go check out that town then.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What we need right now is information.
Then it's settled. Into town we go. Wonder if they got any plump, juicy apples. Oh, Vern, you're always thinking about food. Look who's talking. My tummy always picks the worst time to growl.
You heard Lyria's stomach. Let's go find that town.
Oh, wonder what kind of city it'll be. Can't wait to find out.
Know what I'm wondering? How'd you guys fall from that high up without a scratch? It's a miracle.
Good question. Maybe the canopy broke our fall. In any case, we got lucky.
Hey, any skyfarer who tells you life ain't about luck is a liar in my book.
Don't mind if I do.
It might come in handy later. Look, I see buildings.
Seems like a pleasant place to unwind.
Only one way to find out.
Let's go. Oh boy, this town is nice.
Check out the airships. Probably got a strong trade network going. Kinda reminds me of good old Port Breeze.
We should look for a place where Lyria can rest.
Me? But I feel fine.
You've had a rough afternoon today. You shouldn't push yourself too hard.
I know, but we're in a brand new town. We want to explore with everyone.
Well, Captain?
Maybe we could grab a bite.
Gee, I didn't know our captain was such a foodie. Time to find some delicious apples, or whatever's tasty.
Oh, okay. She picked her car and said after she goes to the I thought you were saying she was thinking of getting her car. I was going to say, that's a weird place to have your car inspected. Oh.
If Lyria's up for a little excursion, then I don't see the harm in it.
In the meantime, I'll grab the Grand Cipher. Should be a dock around here somewhere.
As for me,
I'm hankering to try the little brews they got in these parts.
We just got here. You're all ready to drink? What's with you teasers?
What? I deserve a refreshing cocktail after a long hike.
Ugh, you don't deserve anything.
You're all too much. Anyway, after exploring for a bit, let's meet back at that big building over there.
Come on! I want to take a look around. I can't wait to explore. I love visiting new places for the first time.
I have to say, you're a real lifesaver. Well then, see you next time.
It's always a pleasure. Well, what do you know? Yeah. It's Lyria. And the captain of the boat. You made it all the way to this item, too? Boy, you really do get around. You might just say I'm everywhere. Everywhere the cash flows. Visit a knick-knack chapter.
Rarin. Oh, buddy, are you ready for another year of torment and torture? Isn't this so much fun since we've met? How many good memories we've shared together?
You don't usually torture, but honestly, I'm actually having a lot of fun with these recently.
Same, I have to. I gotta be honest. I look forward to this all the time. And so, with that said, I thought we would change things up a bit for you. I thought we would try something a little bit different. You're familiar that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has plenty of banned cards. So, we're going to do a list of all banned cards. Every card I'm going to show you today has been banned at some point, or in fact, are still banned. So your job is to figure out which, in fact, some of these cards are still banned to this very day. Some of them may have been banned 20 years ago. Some of them may have been banned as recently as a couple years ago. So, how do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see, man.
I guess we'll have to see.
This card game's possible.
Let's start with this one. This should be an easy one, right? The first one's always the easiest.
Can you show me pot of green? Pot of green. Draw 2 cards. Yeah, it's been Fiber Jar. Research.
Flip each player shuffle 4 cards to their hand, deal the engraver into the deck, and draw 5 cards.
Oh my god. See, like, I want to say because it's drawing 5 cards, but let me think about this. How do you know? I was telling you, I played Knights of the Duelist, and I opened the actual like characters anime decks, and I saw firsthand of like how disgusting like draw actually was back in older days of Yu-Gi-Oh. I know how good it is now. Like it's an experience.
Yeah, it's great.
The difference of drawing pot of green versus not drawing it is like night and day. So
now you understand.
Yeah, and under that philosophy, I'm gonna say this is bad because drawing 5 cards seems like it's a little too spooky for me.
That's just that easy?
Yeah.
That's just drawing cards is the only reason. Okay. That's fine. I mean, that could be your evaluation, but I was just curious. It just seemed like, that's it. I thought there'd be more to it, but is there any card that, like, resets the game in Hearthstone like this?
Yeah, there's, like, cards that, like, will shuffle, like, copies of, like, the current deck into your deck. There's nothing that resets the game from basically square one, because this is, like, actually resetting the game, right?
Essentially, the only thing this doesn't affect is the banished pile.
I guess that's also fair, but then this is, like, there's a board, too, right? So, like, it doesn't fully reset. But, yeah, there's nothing like this in Hearthstone, I don't think. I'm trying to think. But, yeah. I think it's
still banned. Still banned. No. Well, you would be correct, as a matter of fact. Funny enough, this is one of the contenders, however, I think a lot of people feel like could come off the ban list. The reason for that is because it's a flip effect monster. Flip effects, as you play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you understand how crazy it is. Who's going to be setting Fiber Jar in 2025, right? It's like, it just... It's dumb. The reason this card actually got banned very early on, this card was sort of like a reset button. If you fall behind in the game and you feel like things aren't going your way, you can set Fiber Jar, it's very tutorable, and then kind of just get a reset on the game. Both players start from scratch, essentially, again, aside from the banished pile, and you start over. And so that was like sort of what this card's purpose was. Honestly, I think the reason this card got banned is because it shuffles itself back into the deck as well, so like technically you could always do this, which is frustrating, but also the act of having to take 5 minutes for everyone to put all their cards back into their decks, reshuffle, draw cards again, I think it's just annoying. And so this card is still banned, I think more just out of like that principle than anything else. It's just like an annoying card to deal with. But it was actually a card that did see play in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because it was a nice way that if you're falling behind, you can just get back in at any moment.
So, hold on, just so I understand, this card wasn't based on drawing from the cards, was it also banned because it was like a nuisance to play with?
It's just a nuisance in the fact that, like I said, you go on the side quest to basically have to restart the whole game, right? And then it also shuffles itself back in, so at any point, if you feel like you're falling behind again, you just play Fiber Jar, and then you just reset the game once again, so you constantly keep doing it over and over again. So, because it's not like it banishes itself, right? So you can just keep doing this over and over again. So it's kind of just an annoying card. But like I said, this card could come off, and I guarantee you it would probably do nothing in the game. So it's funny that this card is still on the ban list. But the fact it does draw 5, the game players draw 5, so like...
Hearthstone. I don't think I've ever heard a card like this. I feel like this is like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Only effect.
Actually, I guess Magic has.
Magic has.
In Hearthstone, though, it would all be automated if you're resetting the game, right? So I think that because it does it all for you. Where like you have to physically pick up your cards and shuffle them and like
here's the difference. Hearthstone doesn't have cases where you just like will lose the game on turn 1. So depending on what deck you're going against, even if they've reset the game, it's not the worst thing in the world. Imagine you're playing like a control versus control matchup, and then all of a sudden someone plays a card like this, you'd be there for like 2 hours. Even if it's all automated, right? I don't think anyone wants to play a card.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's fair. That makes sense. I don't think anyone wants that. Alright, next card.
Oh my god, okay, I actually know this card.
Do you?
Yes, Regeki actually beat me with the duelist like
That's Legacy of the Duelist, though. That game is old. the cards are still banned today.
Just try all monsters your opponent. So, oh my god, so this was banned, I'm guessing, what, early on? Yeah, this is a good card. Like a free flame strike for Hearthstone.
I will give you the context. This card was one of the first cards to hit the ban list, yes. Because remember, everything on here is banned, I can tell you that.
Like, how disgusting does Yu-Gi-Oh! Have to be for, like, a free... I use free, because I don't know what mana cost, but like a free board clear.
One-sided.
Yeah, one-sided as well. Man, that's a really good effect. The thing is, like, your opponent would have... If your opponent pops off and you have Radecki, you destroy all of their monsters, unless they have a back row, they have a way to stop it. But if they're using a single card on Radecki, it's still really, really good. You're at least you're 1-for-1-ing regardless, and then they need that card. It's really good going second unless you just lose. How? So at this point, it might not even be power level. It's like, is the card too unfun to have in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh? If it is the case, I just don't know if this is that egregious. Because you're not drawing cards. It's not like you're... There's enough cards in the game, I think, nowadays where you can probably deal with this card. Oh, this is...
Yeah, I thought this would be a good one to
This was so good and legacy of the duel. Like, we just went through the game. It's so easy to win. I think it's still bad. I think it's still bad. Probably taking a one-side board play like this, that's free. Like a quotation. It's very, very good.
Highlight. You were on the right track, and then you took a hard left into a brick wall. It's like going right. Hideki is not only unlimited, or it's not only not banned, it's in 3 copies, if you can believe that. It's unlimited and it's fine. You believe this Yu-Gi-Oh! Hideki being at 3 copies is okay, and that's like insane to think about. This card actually sees play. It's a card that, because it's so old, it doesn't have a once per turn restriction. And like you said, it has just evolved to the point where like Raigeki, your opponent, isn't even necessarily that great because either they have a way to negate it, or everything that goes to the graveyard has some sort of graveyard effect, or everything has protection from destruction or something like that. So even if, like, it's nice because if you have multiple copies of it, you can go like Raigeki, maybe they negate it. Okay, second Raigeki, that's actually like kind of cool, right? That you can do something like that. And I think it's neat that we can have a board like this powerful in our game, and it's unlimited. Some people might say that's an issue with power creep, that maybe that's not okay, but I don't know. I think it's cool that this card is one of the most powerful cards ever printed originally, and now it's like 5 powerful. That's kind of nuts.
For you, Jim. I'm so glad that your game's so powerful that this is not a good book anymore.
You know what? You wish you had a 0 cost one-sided board with Hearthstone. Would that be nice?
No.
No. Alright, what about this card?
Okay. Solemn Judgment, when a monster would be summoned or spell slot from that card is activated, you have your life points to negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Solemn Judgment is a good card, but again, this is the same circumstances of Raigeki, where it's like, is this that good that it still needs to be banned? Because I'm sure you could do this without paying half your life points. But how many cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually can be that versatile where it affects all 3? That's an interesting question. You also have to set this. It's delayed. It's better going first than second. It's still fine going second.
I will say there are other cards that do hit everything. However, I will say it's more common that they are into one type. So it might be like negate a monster effect or negate a spell effect. Those are more common because they're more narrow. Having what we call an omni negate is definitely better.
Yes, but now that you said that, are you baiting me?
I don't know, I'm helping give you context.
See, like, that's what we always say, that it's like, oh, fuck you, he actually fell for it.
Well, remember, your Sword Soul, right? Your Chi Chao negates monster effects, right? Think of it that way.
Yeah, but, I mean, that is, you make a good point. I don't think, like, the inherent narrow effects are as broken as something like this, right? The question is there something that is better than this, or has this gotten to the point where the power level isn't as sustainable? Because I'm sure for a majority of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, this was, like, a turbo-broken card. It probably still is very good. It's just like, are we, like, Raigeki, like, is it at the same point where it's like, oh, it's not that bad anymore, we can probably get it on? It's also really cool that they're that wishy-washy about it. I will give Yu-Gi-Oh! Credit for that. I think it's cool that, like, cards are on the list. They do, like, reevaluate it. I wish they would maybe do it, like, it'd be interesting to see if they did it more often, to see how the format would drastically change, like, from banning to unbanning, like, this is too personal. And it's whatever if you're winning the game. So it's probably too good, just because of how much the talent is. That's not, it's harmful.
He goes from one brick wall into another, ladies and gentlemen. This card is also fine. This card
I
is
want
also
to know
fine.
if this is like impossible for me to really know because it's really good, but like I don't know what's going on with you here.
Because I think it's a testament more to how crazy the game has gotten, but also some of these are tricky because, like Fiber Jar, right? Like Fiber Jar is probably fine to come off on there because it's just like a dump. Whereas like Salt is bumping. You were going down the right path, and then you just veered off in the wrong direction. Judgment it is a trap card. It is a trap card, so it's slow. So typically how people play Judgment is they'll actually sideboard it, and so in games 2 or 3, when they know they can pick the card, they'll bring it in, and then they'll do whatever the thing is they want to do. So like their sword can combo, right? And it's that as a way to protect their board from like any bullshit the opponent might have, in addition to everything else that they do already have. So it actually does still see a lot of play. This card was banned for a majority of Yu-Gi-Oh's history because it just was really strong and Yu-Gi-Oh was a lot slower. I remember when this card came off the ban list initially, everyone was kind of freaking out because they're like, "Holy shit, this card is good." Like, and this old ban has scarred people's memories of this game for quite some time. But now it's like it's fine. It does see play, but it's not like every deck is playing it. It's situational, but it's still a very good card.
Did they print another effect like this? That is.
Yes. There's actually a series of Solemn cards, as a matter of fact. So Solemn was banned. They printed Solemn Warning and Solemn Strike, which were like variants of this. They were more narrow. So like Solemn Warning would only go after effects, and then Solemn Strike would only go after monster effects and like monsters that were being summoned in a certain way. So they were more limited than Solemn Judgment, but they had lowered life point costs. So that was like sort of to make up for it. And those cards were also very good. Those also saw tons of play. So they made like lesser versions of it, but this is the granddaddy that started them all right here. And like I said, very iconic card. Very iconic card. All right. Well, you're starting off good, and now it looks like we're off the cliff at this point. So let's keep going.
What is this? Phoenixian cluster?
Yeah.
Mario? Yes.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of it. You ever heard of it? It's a play. Literally, it's a play. It says it on the card.
The text is so slide. Let's take a zoom in. This card cannot be special summoned except with its own effect or with another Phoenixian seed. Or with Phoenixian seed.
You can ignore that part.
Okay. If this card attacks, it is destroyed after damage calculation. Wait, holy shit, it's a 22-point auto against it. I was gonna say, if it's like a low star unit, see the attack. But if this card you control is destroyed, it's not gonna be great card. You can 800 damage to your opponent. During your end phase, you can remove one play. You can remove from play one type monster from your graveyard to special summon this card into your graveyard defense. Oh, so it's like literally a Phoenix land that just keeps on resummoning over and over.
Yeah, you got it. There you go.
Why is this banned? What is the...
I don't know. Why is it banned? It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, you said to me that all of these cards are banned at some point, right? So, is a reoccurring effect of inflicting 800 damage just that good? If it, like, you can recursively do it? I don't know. Okay, what? Why? You consistently do 800 damage to your opponent. This part you control is destroyed. So it doesn't matter if it attacks. If it's destroyed, you will do 800. And then you can keep cycling to get to it. I'm guessing it does like a reoccurring 800 damage consistently, and it's not one star of OP. You got to break that friend. Okay. Okay. The question is, how likely is that to happen?
Now the question is that the reason it was banned? Or would that be like something here, man? Like, I will let you know. You are correct. That's the reason. That's why this card was banned. But was that too slow by modern Yu-Gi-Oh standards? Or was this like when was this banned?
Like if it's like two, then it's not like it basically like you have your match this. If you do this the very first turn, it shouldn't be allowed. And okay, this is also the favorite part of this card is just too scary to have on board or to have in the games. That has to be banned, so I'll look at it. I answer. Yes, this one's very difficult though because I have no idea how likely you are to do this combo. I would assume it is very likely.
it was difficult for you to evaluate, but you were rewarded because you are correct. You got it. So this card has had a very interesting history. This is a very old card. This card actually only has a singular printing, as a matter of fact. This is a very expensive card because it is actually seen play in the retro format.
We've got lunch specials, good food, good prices.
That's not no one ever touched it. Then what happened was, as the game aged, it figured out that there was a combo. Continuously, as long as you got enough plant monsters in the graveyard, you need 10 of them, because you have to resurrect this 10 times to do 8,000 damage. As long as you can fill your graveyard with plant monsters, instead of a relatively basic combo, there's a way to infinite loop where you would banish a plant, summon the Amaryllis would blow itself up, deal 800. Banish a plant, summon the Amaryllis would blow itself up, deal 800, because it doesn't have a once per turn clause in its tax. Because it's an old card. And back in early Yu-Gi-Oh!, there was no way to really abuse this. But in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, we then had the mechanisms by which to do so. So as a result, Amaryllis got banned, actually only within the past, few years. It's, relatively modern that it got banned. And it's still banned, just because it's an FTK enabler. So, yeah, it was a very consistent combo. It was not difficult to do in the slightest. And, this card just had a very interesting history throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's funny that it sees play in the Retro Edison format, too. Just because it's a good card. People realize this card's actually just good.
Wait, you can't FDK in the Edison format, though, right? It's just...
No. In Edison, it's actually just people realize it's a good recurring monster that's 2200 attack. And the fact that you can play all these other really good plant cards in Edison, and you're able to just bring back this recursive thing that's very aggressive, because it's 2200, it'll blow itself up, do another 800, and then you can just, kind of keep doing that and put a lot of pressure on your opponent. And by Edison format standards, that's actually quite a lot. So, it's used for degenerate purposes in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, but historically, people didn't really see it as a good card, but people going back to that format realized, wow, this card's actually, really good. So it's just had a neat trajectory throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. You're back on track.
It's interesting that the card you showed me that I didn't even know about is the one I got right. And the other two, maybe you showing me these cards before actually fucks with my brain. Alright, what is it? Premature Burial. Who is that? Is that Seto Kaiba? Who is that?
It kind of looks like Kaiba. He's got the hairstyle.
Activate this card by paying 800 life points. Then target one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position and equip it with this card. Okay, so there's a card in Legacy of the Duelist called Monster Reborn. I'm sure you're aware of what that is.
I think a lot of people are.
That card looks really good. This is basically the same concept, except for you're paying 800 life points. I don't know how relevant the burial, killing the burial matters, because I guess you can just kill a monster instead, and I guess the card goes back to your graveyard regardless. If this is just, I'm going to think of this as Monster Reborn. Wait, is Monster Reborn fair?
I'm listening. If you disclose any information, it will influence your evaluation of this card too much.
Well, I was going to say, if Monster Reborn's banned,
I will give you this. Monster Reborn has been on the ban list before. I will not tell you if it is still banned now.
Okay, so if that...
So that your evaluation of Monster Reborn being a very good card was correct, considering it has hit the ban list.
If Monster Reborn, they would print this card, I'm assuming afterwards. Can you at least clarify that?
I will tell you, Premature Burial was printed 3 sets after Monster.
3 sets? What is the timeline? Like a year?
If it wasn't the same year, it was within a 12-month window. Yes.
Okay, so they still have no fucking idea what's going on at this point. So they're just okay.
For context, Monster Reborn was printed in the very first set. Premature Burial was printed in the 4th set.
Okay, so that's see, I don't know. They have Hearthstone designs cards for expansions ahead of time. So by the time this expansion would be released, they're already on the 4th set after. So they don't really know what
Yu-Gi-Oh! Does that too. Yu-Gi-Oh! They plan ahead. I think they work at 2-year dev cycles, if I recall.
So that means that by the time this card was already in development, it was already finished. Monster Reborn was probably just hitting the shelves, for the first time, maybe a silent which means they probably didn't realize how good it was going to be. I'm sorry, they never still playable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Which means if they're designing that card, what would be the reason why this wouldn't ban it? Is the fact that you could have destroyed the actual spell card relevant? I actually have no idea how this interacts. So, like, if this is linked to a monster, you target this spell.
Yes, so you can, if you destroy Premature Burial, it will destroy the monster.
Oh, because this is still your background, correct? Like, it's not right.
Okay, correct. It's an equipped spell. You see that cross symbol? So this is like tied to that card. Where Monster Reborn, when you play it, you get the monster. They're not tied together. So yes, this is a work of the monster.
Airship of that size is a first for me.
It's like,
I reckon I can handle
which
it.
this is worse though, for sure.
But it is another Monster Reborn.
Sorry for pushing
Yeah,
you.
I guess. I really wish I knew if Monster Reborn was on the ban list anywhere, because this would be such an easy pick. Oh, I don't know.
Exactly. So I'm not going to give that to you. It's
No, that it's not on the ban list. I feel like at this point it's too easy to deal with the monster. That was some.
Premature Burial. So Premature Burials is fine.
Unless. Okay, hold on. Unless you kill your own minion, and then you play Premature. Because I'm going to live in a world where Monster Reborn is still banned.
Okay, sure.
Look who it is. I managed to find a place I
So,
can catch up with a
because
great sniper.
this is like the same effect, but your opponent can interact with it post the cast of the spell. But then you can also still do the same situation that you could do with Monster Reborn if your opponent doesn't have an answer to the spell exactly. So, like, it's almost the same card. It is worse, but it's almost the same card. Like, I feel like if these two cards were printed in Hearthstone, both of them would have stopped playing. I'm going to assume in the world that Monster Reborn is banned, which means I'm going to go with the fact that Burial is also banned. For the same reasons that Monster Reborn is banned, even if it's the worst card.
What if I tell you Monster Reborn is currently limited in the format?
Okay. Okay, no, we're gonna hold on.
Whoa,
If it's
whoa.
limited,
Good nothing to do with
see that if it's I can metagame this, or I can just go with my gut. Because if you say that, I'm going to assume that Monster Reborn is a worse version. Or sorry, I'm going to assume that Burial is the worst version of Monster Reborn. So if Monster Reborn is limited, that means this card would have to be at least limited. Because why would the worst card be banned? The right decision here is to say not banned. But the fact that you said that makes me believe that this is still banned for some reason that I'm not aware of. All right, I'm going to go with
Okay.
I'm going to go with not banned.
So it's fine?
It's not banned anymore. Yeah, it's fine. The question is not. It's not if it's limited or unlimited, right? It's just if it's banned or not banned.
If it's still banned. If it's still
you
banned.
fucking tell me this card is banned and Monster Reborn is limited, I don't understand this game anymore. But it's not banned.
It's still banned.
Fucking Christ! See, I knew it. See, like I still. Why is it still banned? How is
No one could have known our dragon friend would go all crazy.
You said it too. The fact that I'm just losing it because you said it, and then you're like, no, it's fine.
How is that?
Okay. I will say you're missing context for this, and that's why. Okay. So Premature Burial. In every conceivable way, you are correct. This is worse Monster Reborn. You have to pay light. It's equipped to the monster. You can only target your own graveyard. Remember, Monster Reborn can take your opponent's stuff too. So it has to go in attack position. So in every way, Premature Burial is worse.
Okay.
But the one thing Premature Burial has over Monster Reborn is that it's abusable. What do I mean by that? Premature Burial says, when this card is destroyed, destroy the equipped monster. If Premature Burial is bounced back to the hand, the monster stays on the board. So, there are ways that you can loop Premature Burial to basically constantly use the effect over and over and over. You can summon a guy, bounce Premature Burial with an effect, Premature Burial again, bring out another guy, bounce it back again. Basically making it like Monster Reborn on track, right? It is cool, but it's also very abusable, which is why this card is still on the ban list, because especially by nowadays standards, there are way too many ways to conceivably bounce like a card like this back. There's a similar card to this called Call of the Haunted, that's a trap card version of Monster Reborn, but that card, it's like soul bonded both ways, where it says if Call of the Haunted leaves the field, the monster is destroyed, but Premature Burial doesn't have that line of text. So as a result of that, this card is very abusable, and yes, it is like in a vacuum worse than Monster Reborn, but because of that one key difference, this card is still on the ban list, and honestly will probably not come off.
That's just a skill dip on my part, but I didn't want to.
Sure.
That makes sense.
But
it makes sense why. It makes sense.
But to be fair though, you said Monster Reborn is an extremely powerful card. Yes, that's why it is still limited to a singular copy. It still sees play. It is still considered one of the best extenders to continue your combo the entire game, because nothing does what Monster Reborn does better than it. It is just like the singular best card in doing that. And people love it though. It's like a card from the anime, and it's like it feels good when you have Monster Reborn. It's just a fun classic card. Okay, moving on. Another easy one for you.
Time Seal. Skip the draw phase of your opponent's next turn. Yes.
Final answer? That's it? I can tell you if you're that convinced.
I'm second guessing. Let me think. Stopping your opponent from drawing cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems pretty good. If you can somehow have this recursively, your opponent can never draw ever again, and that is disgusting. The only problem with this card is that it might be a little bit too slow by the time you play it. Your opponent has another draw phase, I guess. So I'm going ban.
This card's fine. I will say, this card only relatively recently came off the ban list. You are correct, though. So in older Yu-Gi-Oh, this card was made very early for exactly what you said. It was very easy to set up a game where you can recursively get that time seal and like time seal lock your opponent. That's what we said. And there's other effects in older Yu-Gi-Oh that were similar to skipping your opponent's draw phase. That when you stack them all together, just kind of is super impressive. So this card was on the ban list for quite some time. You acted. It's just too slow. It's just like not worth it, and there's so many better things you can be doing your time of playing fucking Time Seal. So this was always one of the cards that for the longest time people would make like their ban list kind of predictions. People always said this card should come off the list because no one would ever play it. It's off the list, and guess what? No one's fucking playing it, so it shows that we were right. Not that it's like a healthy card, but it's way too slow to do anything. Like you see, like a singular card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Can generate you so many different cards that, yeah, if you skip a draw phase, it's not great, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't matter. It's just way too slow to do anything. Yeah, it's just a very old card. Yeah. But, you know Yu-Gi-Oh! And, like, just seeing you can't draw is obviously disgusting.
If this was a spell card, it would be, like, most disgusting on the planet.
Ooh, yeah, if it was a spell, I think it'd probably still be banned, honestly. Because, like, there's way more you can do with a spell versus a trap. I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know the comments. Let us know what you think. Okay, next one.
What the hell is this? Fairy Tale Snow. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Change it to face-down defense position. This card's in your graveyard. In quick effect, you can banish 7 other cards from your hand, field, or graveyard. Special summon this card. So let me go through each step here. 850 attack for a 4-star monster seems pretty good. Relevant is during a monster, and if they're in their battle phase, and they queue up an attack with their monster, and you make it into face-down defense position, they no longer can have the attack, and it just dissolves, so therefore they just wasted their whole battle phase. Banishing 7 other cards from your hand, field, or graveyard is a tough thing to do consecutively. I'm going to imagine you could probably get rid of it. You could probably do this once. Why would this be banned? This is, like, annoying. Like, I'd be, like...
That's a word for it.
I'd be frustrated to go against this. I don't know if I'm, like...
That is how everyone feels.
Wow, this is an interesting one. Because this is the first one that doesn't outright speak like it's broken, unless, again, I'm not seeing something... Unless it's, like, another card that really interacts with face-time defense position. But, yeah, like, I feel like the concept of just stopping your monster, or your opponent from getting the attack is really, really relevant. Especially in older Yu-Gi-Oh!
I will give you some context. This card is newer. This card was printed, like, midway through Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, mid-2010s. So this is not... In old Yu-Gi-Oh! This card would be insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in older I was literally about to say, like, in older Yu-Gi-Oh! I could see this being banned, but, like, in current Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, like, 7 cards is, like, it's quite a bit.
It's steep. It's steep.
Once it's like, yeah, okay, my opponent skips their battle phase, but I guess... Getting 1 extra draw could be the difference of you winning or losing the game. So that is something to consider if you go to your draw phase. If they can't, I don't know how they would kill you after the battle phase, because I'm sure there's a way. Having that 1 extra draw guaranteed, like Ice Block and Hearthstone. Like you'd play 2 copies of Ice Block to make sure you don't die and get a guaranteed draw, but also refresh your mana. So if this is like Ice, I wonder how good of is that a good comparison? Because you only get to stop 1. The 1 monster could be the difference of you winning or losing the game. I guess, okay, so if your opponent uses a monster effect and then you flip it, does it still proc the monster effect, or does that get
What do you mean?
Like, let's say I use Baron, because that's the best example, and I'm targeting a monster, but then I use Fairy Tale Snow on the stack. And, the chain, that's what you guys call it. And I flip Baron before its monster effect would proc. Does it still get the monster effect, or is it now because it's flipped it doesn't work anymore?
In your example... there's no way that you could actually conceivably do that.
Okay.
But for the hypothetical purpose you're saying, Baron, even if it gets flipped face down, the effect still resolves.
Okay. Is there an instance of what I'm describing that you could do this for, just not with Baron specifically?
So, hypothetically, if there is an ignition / like sorcery speed effect, like, so say you play a monster, and you have to declare that effect, right? Before your opponent does that, when you have the window to respond, you can activate Snow to summon it and flip it face down before they get to use that sorcery speed / instance or ignition effect.
Okay.
So in that case, it would work. But if there's already an effect going, then no, that it would resolve. So that wouldn't work.
Okay, that's what I was going for. Like you just
Sure. It works in some instances, but not all of them.
Because I'm thinking, like, if your opponent doesn't have a way to stop, I don't even know if you could stop this quick effect, but if your opponent's going to do something that would lose you the game and then you flip that card over before it can actually do it, isn't that, like, insane? Is then, like, you can't, if it goes to, like, the battle phase, you can't unflip it, right? You have to wait till your next turn, so it's like, it's not even on board.
When something is summoned, yes, if it gets flipped down, like, you can't reflip it until the follow.
How good? Now you got me thinking here, because, like, what if there's, like, an aura effect that says, like, your opponent can't use monster effects? Could you use this effect in the graveyard to flip that over, and then this would still go off, and then you have the ability to use your monster effects afterwards? That is an interesting question. But I feel like that's like a cool mechanic rather than something that needs to be banned. Like, I wouldn't be kind of like, oh, fuck, it's so stupid. Like, 7 cards that I don't think this is banned. I think this is just cool. Final answer.
Snow is banned. Snow is banned. I will say this is a tricky one. I think there's a decent amount of context you might be missing for this one, but I'll explain. I want to see if you would get there. You were kind of getting there. I think the things you were focusing on aren't the actual reason it's banned, and more of like it's just kind of in addition to everything else. So, flipping the thing face down. Historically, that's always been a very good effect. We call these Book of Moon effects because that's the card that flips something into face down defense position. Like you said, blocking an attack, great, cool. But also, you could, in the instance like you're saying, you could stop an effect from being activated if it's ignition speed. If your opponent is trying to synchro and they have a tuner and a non-tuner, you can summon Snow, flip the tuner or non-tuner face down. Now they can no longer synchro because those monsters aren't face up. So you actually stop them from going to their synchro play or their Xyz play or whatever thing from the extra deck they're trying to do. They need those monsters to be face up. So being able to flip them face down proactively is actually very strong. But that's not the reason I will say that this card is banned. The main reason that this card is banned is actually the second part of the effect. The fact that it says, if it's in your grave, you can banish 7 other cards to special summon it. First of all, this has no once per turn anywhere on it. So, hypothetically, you can do this as many times in a turn as you want. And that sounds like ridiculous to think that you can have that many cards in your graveyard, but there are plenty of cards historically throughout the past that you can load your graveyard up really quickly, and we call these snow decks, and these snow decks would have the ability to use multiple snow activations in a single turn. You're probably wondering why you'd want to do that. Well, the reason is because there are several cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That have an effect that say, if this card is banished, do X. And I would say for the most part, those cards were kind of hard to trigger, except when they're within their own archetype. But Fairy Tale Snow gave you a very easy outlet that now all of a sudden, if you just banish those cards out of your graveyard, it immediately triggered all of these really powerful effects for these cards that need to be banished in order for their effects to activate. So now you get this immense amount of value out of Snow being able to activate, in addition to the body and the flipping of the face down. There's also cool things you can do. This actually is sort of like the Baron example that I gave you. Let's say you play a guy and activate its effect. Let's say your opponent uses a card that says target a monster your opponent controls, negate its effect, okay? As Chain Link 3, you can chain Snow to banish the monster on your field, and because of that, that opposing card that's trying to negate your card no longer has a valid target. So similar to that Baron example, the effect of that monster will still resolve. So Snow allows you to kind of cheat around these sort of cards that interact with the opponent to stop you from doing things, to make sure your big effects are still going to be able to go off. Being a light monster, like this card is just so much value for what it does. And like you said early on, it's very frustrating to play against. This card is, people love this card and they fucking hate this card. Not to mention it's like super cute, so that doesn't. So yeah, Snow is bad. Very, very insane card. And it's crazy because this was just like a common card that they printed in a set. But I think this one was tough. This one, there's a lot of like hidden interactions and
this
mechanics.
one was like, you're like, all right, the test is going to be on this specific questions. She studied that, and he's like, this study guide, and then you get to the test, and it's like.
We'll go back to older cards. Those are more your speed.
Butterfly Dagger Elma. The equipped monster gains 300 attack. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard well equipped, you can return this card to your hand. The equipped monster gains 300 attack. This was banned? When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard well equipped, you can return this card to the hand. That's so bad. 300 attack is like nothing. I mean, in older Yu-Gi-Oh! That might actually be relevant. Because like minion combat seemed to be, as far as I could tell from Legacy of the Duelist, minion combat was definitely the most prominent thing happening. But it's also like, it's based on the anime. It's not like a real Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know how much 300 attack is. Like, why would this be? When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard well equipped, you can return this card to the hand. Literally no idea why this would be banned in the first place. Like, how can I tell you if it's still banned if I don't even know why it's banned?
You want me to help you?
Yeah, well, why is it? Yeah, please. I'm raising my
Here, I'll show you. I'll show you this card.
Oh, thank God. All right, what is this? When equipped cards or card is equipped to this card, destroy the equipped cards. How the fuck does that help me? I don't understand.
Why?
When an equipped card/cards is equipped to this card, destroy that equipped card. Okay, hold on, go back. The other card says the monster gains the other time. This card is destroyed.
Did you put it together?
So this is like an infinite attack glitch. Like you just get 300 attack every single time this procs, and because this is recursive, you can just get like a 1 turn OT hit.
Well, the attack is tied to the dagger, so it loses you're halfway there. Okay. Don't need the third piece. Don't need the third piece. Now get the third piece. Here we go.
Show me this card before that looks familiar. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. When that spell resolves, you can remove 3 spell cards from that card draw.
Okay. I mean, like,
You see, that's pretty good. Because now you're drawing a card, infinitely, right? There's no way to stop you from playing until you have a mana system. So, unless your opponent can interact with the Butterfly Dagger, then this is just an infinite draw. Correct? Is infinite draw good?
Is it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty good. I hate these videos. It's obviously very strong. Okay, it's very good. You're drawing multiple cards for 3 cards. It's insane. You're kind of winning the game on this. Now it's advanced for some fucking reason.
Is that your answer?
No, it's advanced. There's no answer. There's no answer. Yes. How can it go fucking say it? You swear to God.
This card's fine.
You tell me you have problems trying, and you have this combo, you punish me.
Are you done looking around?
I'm getting angry with your wife. It's not just
I've been actually investigating this card. It's still
I left it. Sorry, I had to think about it. Hold on. Sorry, I'm back.
Okay, so yes, I've showed you the this is what we like to call the Butterfly Dagger infinite draw combo. So basically, this is the combo. This is a very old combo. These are all very old cards. I think these were all printed in 2003 for the most part. This combo essentially lets you draw your whole deck, and then you can imagine you play Exodia, you just win the game, right? That's all you have to do. So very old combo, not super difficult to set up. You're kind of just gated by needing to get the right cards, but Gearfried was searchable, which is nice. Dagger was also searchable. Library, I don't think was, so I think that was sort of the bottleneck of this strategy. But yeah, it was something you could do and just hypothetically win the game immediately. This was not particularly good. It's not like everyone was doing this, but it was something degenerate you could do if you wanted to just play an Exodia deck. But because Elma essentially enables infinite loops with cards like Gearfried and especially nowadays with just a million other cards, I think Konami just doesn't want to deal with this card existing in the game at all because there's just so many degenerate things you could theoretically do with infinite loops that they just don't want to have to design around it with it existing. Could this card come off the list? Probably. I don't like, if someone wants to figure out what, like, crazy FTKs Elma would enable by nowadays standards, please let me know. I think it's way too slow. Old Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't have hand traps either, so, like, that's the thing. Like, FTKs are degenerate, but at the same time, there's stop gaps in place now to sort of, like, interact with them, where in the old days there was nothing. If your opponent had the combo, they just won automatically. So, but yes, you were correct. This card is still banned. It's probably one of those ones that could come off similar to Time Seal, would probably do nothing, but I just wanted to trigger you there, so I'm sorry.
You're good. I think I've aged like 20 years off this video.
Well, we only have a few left. So let's see if you can end strong.
Oh, hey, what is this? Self-destruct button. You can only activate this card while your life points are lower than your opponent's life points, and the difference is 7,000 points or more. Both players' life points become 0. Oh my god. Okay, you have shown me a card. You showed me I can't remember what video it was from, but you did show me something that was kind of like this, where you are able to actually reduce your life points quite a bit.
I did show you that. That was Wall of Revealing Light. Would you like to see that again for a refresher?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, actually. If you would.
We've been through a lot together.
I think initially, like, you think that you both use time, but I feel like there's another card in the game that says you can't die this turn, or something along those lines.
I will let you know, I don't think that exists.
You activate this card, pay any multiple thousand
Since our lives are
of your
intertwined,
opponent's monsters with attacking. Yeah, okay. So that doesn't have a once per turn. They're both trap cards.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. What happens in a tournament setting if you tie? You both players
Go again.
You play the game again? Okay.
It's considered a draw, and you have to play again. So it's like, instead of someone having a win, it's like someone has a win and a draw. So you just go again.
You see, like in Hearthstone, people end the tournament, you just count both the stacks as a win. Then you move on to the next one. So,
So it depends on the end score. So if the match ends in a draw, then like it is considered a draw. But like if, let's say, someone wins game 1 and then game 2 is a draw, the person who won game 1 is the winner because they have a win and a draw versus the opponent has a loss and a draw. Because remember, we play best of 3.
oh yeah, okay. So Hearthstone's best of 5, and then they would just, if you tied like those classes are no longer allowed to be played. Like they
Sure. Yeah, so you get draws in your rankings of your scoring. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you can have 7 wins, 2 losses, and a draw.
This is something. This is one of the. This also begs the question. It's not broken, but is this something that you want in your game? Like in Hearthstone, I feel like if I was going to win a game and they had like a secret that it was this, and it was like, that's a huge discrepancy in life to pull this off, though. But it doesn't matter, because if it activates, it activates me, you're so set. How could you abuse this is the question. Both life points become 0.
How could you? What a great question.
Is there a card that says, if your life points would become 0, gain 100 life? Or something along those lines?
I will say no. I don't think that really exists.
Is there any card in this game that...
There is, I think there's one. I'm going to look to see if this works before I send this to you.
Basically, I am just, I'm wondering if there's a card in the game that says, along the lines of, like, if you would go to 0 life points, you don't die. Like, anything that...
No, that does not exist in our game.
So, in other words, if this card activates, you will tie the game no matter what.
If it resolves, yes.
Okay, so then how is this abusable? Hold on, what? I could get the concept of, like, not winning a game suck. Like, that would feel unfortunate. I just don't know how you could abuse it with an effect like that. Because, like, there's cards in Hearthstone that say your hero's, like, immune this turn, right? So then you can do some pretty, like, stupid shit. You can't die. But, like,
yeah, you can't really work around it because it says both players' life points become 0. So, like, there's no way you could stack a chain that you can gain life points first, because if you hit 0, the game automatically ends. So it's like... Yeah, we don't have immune type effects like other games do.
No, I feel like I wouldn't want this in the game purely from a gameplay standpoint, not even a balance issue. This is just like a silly card to maybe have in the game, and I think they thought this was funny, but then they're like, wait, this kind of sucks ass if it happens too much. It's a funny gimmick once, and then after that gimmick is done, it's like, okay, this is just annoying. Is that enough to ban something? Like, I'm thinking, okay, like, this is actually, speaking of, like, the Magic Commander stuff, this would be banned in Commander. Like, this is a silly-ass card to have in Commander. You wouldn't want this in the format. Does Konami care about its players like that?
I am going to plead the 5th on that.
My lawyer told me not to comment. I'll go with they carried off about your player base for this to be banned. Not for gameplay reasons, not for balance reasons, gameplay reasons. But I am very curious to hear if there is a gameplay reason or a balance reason why this has to be banned. So.
Well, Raren, you avoided self-destructing because you are correct. This card is still banned today. It's actually, like you said, it's purely from a gameplay perspective, not necessarily a actual functional perspective. So there were decks in the day that their sole purpose was to just keep resolving self-destruct button, and they would just ruin tournament experiences for people because they would just constantly keep forcing draws and the game would never actually end hypothetically, and it was just not fun, right? It's just it's just trolling. It's just going to troll people, which okay, you could argue trolling people depending on what kind of deck you're playing is fine, but I think this sort of crosses the line a bit too far, and then as Yu-Gi-Oh's age, it's become easier and easier to do this. That this card is banned. It probably will stay banned just because it's not this card serves no purpose other than to troll at the end of the day. Yeah. So just not a very well designed card at the end of the day. But you got there. All right, two left. Let's see. This guy's got a lot of text, but I think you'll like this guy once you read him.
Grand Soil the Elemental Lord. All right, hold on. I gotta zoom in. Cannot be normal summon / set. Must be special summon from your hand by having exactly 5 earth monsters in your graveyard, and it cannot be special summoned by other ways. When it's facilities will put up warning signs when something bad happens. They don't do it preemptively. It's only when an accident happens. This is the perfect example of this. They're you have to do this, you fucking idiots. We've had problems before. You're not doing this ever again. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 monster in either player's graveyard. Special summon that target to your side of the field. If this card leaves the field, skip the battle phase of your next turn. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 monster in either player's graveyard. Special summon that target to your side of the field. If that card leaves the field, skip the battle phase of your next turn. So this is Monster Reborn with extra steps.
Correct. So I'll give you some context. The Elemental Lords are all of these monsters that embodied the effects of, at the time, banned cards. So Monster Reborn was Grand Soil's effect. And so there's a few others. Moulin Glacia, for those watching, embodied Delinquent Duo. I think Pyrorex embodied Ring of Destruction, if I recall. And the Wind one sucks, so we don't talk about the Wind one. It may have been Heavy Storm. I'm going to look it up while you're figuring this out.
When this card is special, so 5 Earth monsters in your graveyard. We talked about already that getting monsters in your graveyard is actually not very difficult. 5 is not that difficult to get you use in your hand, but I imagine this is also tutorable. If it's not, then this card's bad. Most of the time, I guess. You get a Monster Reborn, and you get another monster, and then you also have more resources in your graveyard if Earth monsters interact. It doesn't say once per turn, so you can bounce this back to your hand. And imagine that all attack before. I think it's at once per turn, it wouldn't be broken. You can assume that you can bounce this enough that you can just fill your Yeah. You got it right on the nose. Congratulations. That is exactly what initially this card was released and didn't get a lot of attention. I'll say there was a lot of other really powerful cards that came out in the same set as this. But it didn't take long for some of the best minds in the game to figure out that this card was very good. Very, very good for the attackers. He mentions that there is no once per turn above this card. So much so that as time aged and people understood the power of this card, that conflict with it, and Red Soil, as a result, ended up getting banned. They actually, it's funny when you said they errated it and made it a once per turn, and no one plays it, and now it's a 3, and that was all fine. So this is one that is technically it's legal, but the version I showed you is in our minds banned because you can't play it forever. Right. I just thought this was a cool card to show you just conceptually. Yeah, that's cool. Grand Soil's neat. All right. Last one, Raren. Let's see if everything you've learned will come together. Oh, wait. Did you show me this already, too?
Did I?
Victory Dragon, this card cannot use. See, we've done so many of these videos. They all get, lost in the vault of my brain. This card cannot be special summoned. To tribute summon this card, you must tribute 3 Dragon-type monsters. If this card attacks your opponent directly and reduces their life points to 0, you win the match. Wait, what?
Isn't that every monster in the game? If this card attacks your opponent directly and reduces their life points to 0, you win the match. Am I stupid? It's not every monster in the game?
A duel is not a match. A duel is a game, and a match is 3 duels. And, you know, if it goes to game 3. So,
banned? This is it.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
I'm gonna give them good credit. This is like a really interesting card. Like this is kind of fucking sick.
So if you, in the very first game of your match, hit them directly with Victory Dragon, you win the whole match. You don't have to play a game 2 or a game 3. The game is over.
Give me an idea.
The match is over.
Very true. Like the situation, I can see why competitive is so good, because I'm sure you can abuse them. It's so interesting.
And some restrictions.
You have 3 Dragon type monsters. I'm not sure how old that is. But I'm not sure the older you get, that's something that would take a little bit.
I will say dragons are one of the most popular types.
Eventually, this would get powerful as it's very easy to tribute. This counts as your own summon.
Yes, they tribute summon is your normal summon.
Man, this is so interesting. See, like, the thing is, this card actually has diminishing returns, though, as it means the magic goes. If you don't get a game 1, it's best at 3, you would hit it. Because this game was fine too, as long as you're winning. So you need to hit a minimum game 3 to get 2 game 3. This card is
correct. Yes, I will agree. The longer the match goes on, the worse this card gets.
Is it
cool design though, right?
Yeah,
cool design.
I like it. Man, it's so, I would be like shocked in a game if I lost to this, but obviously rightfully salty. But I think it's an interesting thing to do it. It's like the Golden Snitch in Harry Potter. Like it's just there.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah.
It's very interesting. I don't know why. Like, so they would ban. There's no way this is a broken card. Like you have to ban this specifically because it led to the competitive scene being not great for the average competitive player, and therefore no one wanted to play while this card's in the game. I think it's very obvious this card's not broken. It's just, unless I'm just not thinking of a way for you to do this consistently, and if it is consistently, then this card obviously needs to be banned for obvious reasons. I'm going to assume it's banned because you can do it consistently. I think the card's cool, but if I'm a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player and this was happening often, I would not want to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's not good for Konami. So they would ban this for like monetary and just play pattern reasons, I guess. I don't think it's objectively broken, but I think I understand why, so yeah, I'll go with it's banned. Please tell me it's not banned, it's so cool.
So Victory Dragon is pretty bad for all intents and purposes.
Okay.
Just because it has such a heavy restriction, it can't be cheated out. It's not hard to special summon dragons to the field and then use your normal summon to get this guy out. But you have to jump through a lot of hoops, right? You have to get the dragons out. You have to get Victory Dragon out. He has to connect with an attack. He has to reduce their life points to 0. It's not like he just has to hit them. He also has to get their life points down to 0. And so, for all intents and purposes, I would say that this card is not very good. Even this, because this is an old card. It looks old. I would say this card is like not even very good. But it is cool. There's also the reason this card is bad is because people can, if they see Victory Dragon hit the field, you're able to concede in Yu-Gi-Oh! At any moment. So if you're in game 1 and your life points are 2,300 and they summoned Victory Dragon and you see you're about to get smacked by Victory Dragon, you can just concede before they do anything to attack, and now you don't lose to Victory Dragon resolving its effect, and you just go to game 2. See, asterisks to that, and I'm going to preface this by saying I did not live in the Asian territories, and so I cannot confirm as to 100% if this is factually accurate. In the Asian version of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the rule set, you were not allowed to concede the game if it was not your turn. This is all from what I've heard historically. So, in the Asian territories, Victory Dragon, if it hits the field, the opponent could not concede, so Victory Dragon would actually resolve and make it so that someone would automatically win the match as a result. That was a difference in the rule sets from my understanding of this, but this is also, it's kind of hard to find this information because it's hard to find old information about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's all in Japanese, yada yada. That was a rule that eventually did get changed in the Asian territories, but, so Victory Dragon in the Asian territories was way better because of that one difference in the rule set that the opponent could not concede if it was not their turn. And you are correct. Victory Dragon is still banned. But it's, again, I don't think it's necessarily, like, a very good card. I think it's kind of similar to, like, Self-Destruct Button, where it's, like, they kind of just don't want this sort of effect in the game, because, like you said, it just, like, feels bad. And I think, like you said, from, like, a monetary perspective and from a business perspective, this design does not, like, mesh very well with what they want players to experience. And, yeah, it's just kind of a funny story. But yeah, this card's still on the ban list. This is like one of the ones that everyone's like, just put this, like, make this legal. No one's gonna ever play this unless they're trying to troll, right? Yeah. So, yeah, very interesting card. Very interesting card.
It's very funny. No, it's sick as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I lost by competitive, I'd be like, "That you deserve that." That's so cool.
It's funny because it's like, that's how I feel too. Like, there are plenty of ways to counter this card happening. Like, if you see your opponent has 3 dragons, if you have any trap card to interact with them, if you have anything to interact, like, this thing's not even that big. It's 2,400 attack, right? It's got so many things in place that it's not good, that I feel like if you lose to this, you kind of deserve it. And honestly, like, you should just, like, get good. That's how I feel. But
this is arguably the most anime card you've shown me, like, from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I feel like if I'm trying to live the Yu-Gi-Moto dream, other than maybe, like, Exodia, like, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, this is the card.
The scenario is, like, you lost game 1, you're in game 2, and you're, like, you summon Victory Dragon, and you just steal victory from your opponent.
Yeah, it's
exactly, like, I think that should be okay. Like, and again, like, if your opponent's not gonna concede before you get the attack in, like, that's their fucking fault. I don't know.
Honestly, there should be a rule in Yu-Gi-Oh! That says something along the lines of, like, if you initiate the attack or something, or if this card is summoned on the board, your opponent can't concede. Like,
right, like, if it was built into the card text,
I'll give it
Asia gets the cards before we do. I think because that was built into the Asian rule set that they're not allowed to concede on the opponent's turn, you didn't have to have that built into the card. So I think that was, like, the idea behind it. And if I'm, like, off on this, people in the comments, please correct me on, like, the actual part. But it's something along these lines. And so, yeah, when it came to the TCG, we didn't have the same rule set. And so this card, it just obviously did nothing. But it was actually, like, banned, like, very early on anyway. So, just very, very just, like, funny card to end on, I thought, in terms of things that are still banned that are awful. Yeah, but very iconic card too. Everyone, like, reads this and they're like, this is so fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, that's not in the anime though, right? Like, that's just a card they decided
No.
Okay, interesting.
No, well, because in the anime they don't play, like, best 2 of 3 either. It's all best of 1.
Yeah,
so.
You know what? Now that you say it, it's really interesting because, like, I just finished watching the first season.
Oh, okay.
I did it for, like, the video I was making, and I find it very interesting how it doesn't translate at all to, like, what it actually sounds like you play in real life. Like,
Correct.
Correct. And, like, it's interesting how they draw these they draw the really intense battles for, like, 40 minutes. Like, the casual ones are, like, 5 seconds if they're going for, like, a flashback or something, and then you have one that was, like, the Weevil Underwood one versus Yugi is, like, 3 episodes long. And it's just funny to me how they keep pulling shit out of their ass as the match keeps going. But it's interesting how, like, this card wouldn't be in the game, because I feel like, or the show I should say, because it's, like, the perfect, literally the most anime card you've shown me. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's very interesting.
I mean, there are other things that they play in the anime that, like, you know, sort of embody this type of, you know, any card can turn the tide of battle, right? So I don't think they need this card necessarily. They do it in other ways all the time.
There was, I forget what battle it was, but there was one where it's like Yugi was like, my dark magician grew older, and therefore
the Dark Sage?
And I was like, what?
Because of the Time Wizard that Joey used? I know what you're talking about.
What the fuck? Like, I thought that was
That's a card. That's a card.
Interesting. I thought that was funny.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all their continued support. So shout outs to Shout1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Medolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, The Synchro Guy, Pony Stark, Dan the Man Hoban, Little Fadeleaf, Draconic, Dylan Murray Hunter, JW11860, Flannel Daddy, literally all of the guinea pigs, Sheiks McLafferty, Stolfin Amethyst, MBT Cancel by all community soon, Cancel by all committee soon, Cancel by all players soon, Wonder Waffle, MBT Nimnims, One Boxer Refueled Knight of Passion, Daniel Howell, Electrician of the Ice Barrier, Astro Random, Arco, and the Nova 129. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and we will see you next time.
Would you be interested in taking a quest or two? Maybe more? Right. Would you take this one? It's in your hands now. Have a nice day. Hello there.
Our adventure began with a strange light falling over my home island of Zinkenstill. I chased it to the impact site, where I found a blue-haired girl named Lyria and a knight, Catalina. The girl was shaken, and pretty soon I learned the reason why. She was on the run from Earth-State Empire soldiers. I knew an unfair fight when I saw one, so I stepped up to protect Lyria from those awful tyrants. Catalina and I fended them off well enough, but when their backs were in the corner, they released a fire-breathing Hydra. It charged me, sending me flying into the tree line. Moments away from death. All I could think about was Dad. He'd been the one who trained me, and he'd done a great job. But, well, who expects their son to get attacked by a five-headed horror? It was going to be devastating. So, it's all over. Just as I began to sink into darkness, a gentle light enveloped my body. Lyria, breathed by a mystical halo, was floating above me with her hand outstretched. She explained that she was going to merge our life forces. Fortunately, it worked. From that moment forward, Lyria and I would be inextricably linked. Looking into her blue eyes, I knew I had nothing to fear, not even death itself. Two people, one life, a greater whole. Lyria had taken a huge risk to save me. Now, if one of us got hit with a fatal blow, it was curtains for both. And that thought awakened in me a desperate hunger for survival, for life. The next moment, Lyria and I felt this reverberation of power. The torrent of emotion rushing from me had awakened something. Darkness and flame swirled around us, coalescing into a massive dragon, Bahamut. With him on our side, we made short work of the Imperial Hydra. Now that their trump card had been blasted into oblivion, the Imperial Army had no choice but to run. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't chased that light. No Lyria, no lifelink, no adventure. Man, I probably wouldn't even have set foot off of Zinkenstill. Fate's a funny thing, isn't it? Since meeting Lyria, we've seen our fair share of joy and happiness, and pain and suffering. But the Grand Cypher crew doesn't buckle under pressure. We'll take on anything the journey throws at us. No regrets. Now, where was I? Oh, right. We've just humiliated the Empire, who probably had reserves waiting somewhere close by. We realized we needed to get off Zinkenstill fast. The Empire was not going to rest while Lyria was on the loose. And I figured that since we shared a life force now and all, it was in everyone's best interests if we stayed together. Plus, I'd always wanted to explore the far reaches of the skies. Though doing it on the run, not what I had in mind. There was so much to think about, so much to decide. But all those plans could come after we had escaped Zinkenstill. I didn't want a whole army, this time with I don't know, 30 Hydras marching on my home island. And, well, I had another more personal reason for wanting to leave. Before I knew it, our journey was at an end. The end. As in, we reached the end of the skies. My son, I'm waiting for you on Esta Lucia. I thought about Dad's letter. I missed him. When I was young, he would take me to the edge of the island, and we'd sit there, admiring the clouds. I wanted so badly to explore those skies, just like that. Now, I wouldn't have to make that journey alone. With Vern, Lyria, and Catalina at my side, we commandeered a small Imperial craft and set out for the greatest of destinations, Esta Lucia. From the moment we left Zinkenstill, our adventures were hectic, to say the least. Catalina, who claimed to be an experienced pilot, crashed our small vessel onto the dusty fields of Port Breeze. But we quickly pulled ourselves together and found a new ally and helmsman in the form of Rackham. Since then, we gained more and more allies, and no matter what obstacle we faced, the crew always worked in tandem to find a solution. It's all thanks to their support that I've made it this far. And what a wild ride it's been. To think I had never even set foot off of Zinkenstill. But now, I can't even count the number of islands we've saved, let alone visited. Sure, being a roving band of heroes is difficult, but it's got its perks. New faces, new places, and a whole airship's worth of fun. Who could pass this life up? Anyway, we've just begun the next chapter of our adventure. We discovered another piece of the sky map, which led us to Zega Grande. Yeah, a whole new skydom. Just imagine danger, the promise. But I knew it was going to be fine. Just another set of memories to add to our ever-growing collection. I hope you're ready, Zega Grande, because here we come.
Come again.
The ship will depart shortly. Is everyone ready? Yep, we're good to go. Good. All aboard the airship. There's no time to waste. Do your thing, autopilot. So, I bet you're wondering who I am. I work for the Church of Folka, mostly as a vicar. Call me Roland.
I'm Catalina, protector of this crew.
Name's Rocco. Cheers.
And I'm Leo.
Oiga.
Rosetta.
You can call me Fur. I'm Miri. Nice to meet you.
And finally, this is our captain.
Wow, I can't imagine captaining a crew at your age. Well, I'm not exactly a slouch myself. You see, I'm kind of a Mr. Fix-It, handling all the odd jobs after church. From furniture repair to marriage counseling, I can mend it all. Results guaranteed. When Roland's on the case, nothing is impossible! Too dramatic, huh?
This guy's a few apples short of a bushel. He'll hear you, dummy. Glad you're with us. High five, Fix-It, dude.
Dude? Once again, my name is Roland.
Yep, heard you.
Side sets, a new banning system, and plenty of
It's Roland.
starting to get into his own. So, notes before they can make this thing, so let's just get rid of it. It's still banned in actual Yu-Gi-Oh, and we're gonna ban it for winning Season 2. Are so back, and we are ready to ban a card out of Gage's collection, courtesy of the lovely ban ticket we got for winning last episode. So, I think it is time for our good old friend Outer Entity Azathoth to make its way onto the ban list. Is this the biggest threat ever? No.